The movie begins with a mysterious white horse being chased through the wilderness by a woman who eventually falls into a ditch and discovers an abandoned Viking ship. Inside, she finds chains, corpses, and the horrifying remains of the crew. But among the dead, something moves. A massive Viking body shifts, revealing a terrified young boy hiding behind him with a sword. The woman carefully takes the weapon away and realizes the child has already witnessed unimaginable violence. She takes him to her tribe, where some villagers fear him because of his Viking appearance. One elder calls him a demon, but another insists he is only a child. The woman argues that abandoning him would make them no better than the Vikings, and the chief allows him to stay. If you enjoy epic fantasy movies like this, don't forget to subscribe, because it helps us grow together and bring you more unforgettable movie stories. That night, the woman tucks the boy into bed and asks his name, but the question awakens terrifying memories. In his nightmare, he relives the day the Vikings attacked his people. His father orders him to kill a helpless young girl, but the boy refuses and drops his sword. His father brutally kills the girl anyway, then beats and disowns his own son. The child is whipped and left broken until a mysterious white horse appears in his vision and wakes him. 15 years later, that frightened boy has become a powerful young warrior known as Ghost. He has grown up among the tribe that rescued him, and the children adore him. Yet despite being accepted by the people around him, Ghost still carries painful questions about where he truly came from. Ghost's peaceful life changes when a neighboring tribe arrives, led by a warrior called Pathfinder. They come to trade, but Pathfinder reveals that an avalanche has wiped out 3 hunting parties, including one that was meant to secure the future of his people. His daughter, Starfire, is also there, and Ghost immediately notices her. During a ceremonial gathering, the tribe prepares to recognize its warriors, but Ghost is left apart from them. Pathfinder tells him that before he can become a true warrior, he must confront the demons of his past. Until Ghost faces what happened to him, he will never know who he really is. Ghost rises and declares that he will find his own path. Later, his adoptive father reminds him that even if he was born among another people, he is still a son of their tribe. The following day, Ghost spends time with the children before heading toward the waterfalls, where he quietly admires Starfire. He later prepares for a hunting trip and leaves with a young girl and her doll. Ghost warns her not to wander too far, but danger arrives while he is hunting. He is attacked, and the girl becomes separated from him. She soon encounters Vikings who surround and terrorize her. Somehow she escapes and races back toward her people to warn them. The chief immediately senses danger, and then horses come charging toward the village. Their defenses are weak, and before anyone can prepare, the Viking invasion begins. Ghost is still far away when he hears the war horn and realizes that his home is under attack. Ghost races back, but the Vikings have already turned the village into a slaughterhouse. Homes are burning, villagers are dead, and everything is being destroyed or stolen. From the mountains, Ghost sees the smoke and realizes he may be too late. When he reaches the village, bodies cover the ground. Then he finds his mother among the dead. Nearby, he discovers the little girl's doll and fears she suffered the same fate. Before he can process the loss, he hears chanting and discovers the Vikings forcing his father into a brutal fight. Ghost watches helplessly as his father is killed. One Viking notices that Ghost looks different and decides to give him a sword instead of killing him immediately. They expect an easy victory, but they have no idea what kind of warrior they are facing. Ghost immediately proves himself. He takes down one Viking, steals his shield, and escapes into the forest while the others pursue him. Arrows tear through the trees, but Ghost disappears into a swamp and uses the landscape against them. He steals a horse and rides away, only to be chased into the mountains. Wounded by an arrow, he escapes down a snowy slope while the Vikings follow. Ghost knocks several of them from their sleds before throwing himself over a cliff. They assume he is dead, but he survives by clinging to the rocks below. Injured and exhausted, he climbs upward and disappears into the wilderness. Meanwhile, the Viking who lost an eye receives treatment, while their leaders become furious over Ghost's escape. They now have one goal: find him and kill him. Ghost continues through the frozen wilderness, barely able to move, until Pathfinder and his people discover him wounded inside a cave. Starfire immediately treats his injuries, but their refuge is interrupted by a massive cave bear. Pathfinder draws the creature toward himself and kills it with a spear, saving the others. The group carries Ghost back to their village, where the people are celebrating without knowing the Vikings are still nearby. Pathfinder begins a healing ritual, removing the arrowheads from Ghost's body and calming his troubled mind. Ghost experiences another terrifying terrifying memory from his Viking childhood, but Pathfinder helps him recover. After the ritual, Starfire quietly holds Ghost's hand and wonders what he is dreaming about. For the first time since the massacre, Ghost is surrounded by people willing to protect him. The next morning, some villagers fear that Ghost may be connected to the enemy. Pathfinder defends him and shows them the arrowhead still lodged in Ghost's back, explaining that the Vikings are hunting him. Ghost warns the village that the attackers are coming next. He explains that the Vikings may leave one survivor alive just to lead them toward another village, only to silence that person afterward. Some villagers accuse Ghost of bringing the danger, but he insists they must leave immediately. Pathfinder begins evacuating the civilians, refusing to sacrifice more innocent lives. When he asks Ghost what he will do, Ghost says he will stay behind and kill as many Vikings as possible. Pathfinder understands that Ghost's heart is filled with vengeance, but he allows him to leave and find his own path. While Starfire and the villagers evacuate, Ghost prepares the battlefield. The Vikings are approaching through the mountains, unaware that the terrain ahead has become a carefully designed trap. Ghost studies the paths and places weapons and traps around an intersection where several routes meet. As darkness falls, the Vikings finally arrive. Their leader believes they have Ghost cornered, but the hunter has become the hunted. Ghost strikes from the shadows, taking down one warrior after another. The Vikings quickly realize that they are no longer chasing a wounded survivor. They have entered the territory of someone who has spent his entire life learning how to survive. Ghost's attacks become increasingly deadly. The Vikings discover a horse dragging what appears to be a corpse, only to realize it is another trap. Ghost bursts out and cuts down several warriors before disappearing again. Starfire and the other warriors hide beneath a spike trap, waiting for the right moment to strike. They join Ghost and eliminate another Viking. Ghost then appears before the enemy forces, holding a severed head, deliberately intimidating them. The Vikings respond by bringing in more warriors, overwhelming Ghost's allies. Instead of abandoning them, Ghost risks himself to save Starfire and the others. The battle becomes a desperate chase through the caves, where every passage could contain either an enemy or an escape route. Inside the caves, a Starfire proves she can defend herself. When a Viking grabs her, she fights back and escapes, but another larger warrior catches her. One of Ghost's companions repeatedly attacks him, yet the Viking's armor protects him, and he eventually kills the man. Ghost later finds his dying ally and holds him as he takes his final breath. There is no time to grieve because the giant Viking attacks Ghost next. After a brutal struggle, Ghost survives and kills him. Meanwhile, Starfire continues through the caves as the remaining Vikings search for her. Ghost eventually finds her, but outside, the massacre continues. When Ghost sees another captive being burned, he prepares to intervene even though Starfire warns him that returning could get them both killed. Ghost refuses to watch another innocent person die. He attacks the Vikings and rescues one of the tribe's women, but the enemy numbers overwhelm him. Ghost, Starfire, and Pathfinder are captured and chained. The Vikings demand the location of the next village, using Pathfinder to break Ghost's resistance. In front of them, Pathfinder is brutally tortured and killed. The loss devastates Ghost and Starfire. The Viking leaders then demand that Ghost reveal the village's location. Ghost refuses until they threaten Starfire. When they prepare to hurt her, he agrees to guide them if they promise to let her live. The Viking leader accepts, unaware that Ghost has no intention of leading them anywhere safely. Ghost guides the Vikings toward an abandoned settlement while carefully studying their movements. When one discovers a tribal doll, Ghost quickly invents a believable explanation. Soon they reach a dangerous stretch of thin ice. Ghost convinces the Vikings that crossing it is faster and more honorable than going around. Their pride takes over and they march onto the ice. Suddenly it cracks beneath them, sending many warriors into the freezing water. Ghost and Starfire seize the opportunity and attack the survivors. During the chaos, Ghost experiences another vision of Pathfinder telling him that he is the next Pathfinder. He snaps back to reality, and with their forces badly reduced, the Vikings have no choice but to continue following him into the mountains. Ghost leads the remaining Vikings deeper into the mountains, where he knows the terrain can finish the job. They eventually discover the hunting party that disappeared earlier and continue climbing a narrow mountain path. Because the trail is dangerous, the Vikings tie themselves together with rope. Ghost watches carefully, waiting for his opportunity. Far below, they spot what appears to be a campfire and believe they are close to their destination. Ghost then uses Starfire as a distraction and manipulates the Viking leader into moving forward. With the enemy tightly connected, Ghost causes one warrior to fall, dragging the others down with him. Their formation collapses, leaving only Gunnar and his closest companion. Ghost fights the companion and cuts the rope connecting Gunnar and Starfire, sending himself and Starfire into a dangerous fall. Gunnar survives by sacrificing his own companion and climbing upward. Now the entire war has been reduced to a final confrontation between him and Ghost. Ghost is badly wounded and exhausted, but Gunnar continues coming for him. Ghost tells Starfire to leave, knowing she could be killed, but Gunnar catches her and tries to use her against him. Starfire breaks free, and Ghost realizes that he must finally confront the past he has been running from. He shouts that he knows who he is, triggering an avalanche around them. Snow and ice crash down the mountain, swallowing the battlefield. Gunnar survives and rises for one final duel. Ghost is nearly finished, but he finds enough strength for one last strike. He wounds Gunnar, sending the Viking leader plummeting toward his death. The mountain continues collapsing, and another avalanche wipes out the remaining Viking survivors. For the first time since the massacre, the threat is finally gone. Starfire survives and returns toward the village, believing Ghost may have been lost. But Ghost is alive. Injured and exhausted, he returns to the people who once rescued him, and they welcome him as a hero. Starfire embraces him, while the tribe realizes that Ghost is connected to the ancient prophecy they have spoken about for generations. The mysterious white horse appears again, completing the pattern that has followed Ghost since childhood. The boy they once feared has become the warrior who protected them from destruction. Starfire has chosen to become the new Pathfinder, carrying on the role of the man who sacrificed everything for his people. Ghost becomes the defender of the village. His journey has come full circle. The child rescued from a destroyed Viking ship is now the strongest shield protecting the people who raised him. The same boy who once dropped his sword because he could not kill an innocent girl eventually becomes a master warrior. Ghost doesn't simply survive their invasion, he turns their entire campaign against them. Ghost is no longer an outsider or simply a survivor carrying painful memories. He has returned as the defender of the people who raised him, standing beside Starfire as their next chapter begins. And that brings us to the end of Pathfinder, starring Carl Urban, Clancy Brown, and Moon Bloodgood. If you enjoyed this action-packed movie recap, like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell so you never miss another epic movie recap. Drop your thoughts in the comments and watch more unforgettable stories from the channel.